You know, if you are watching a lot of relationship, sometimes you will know when they are saving face in public, but they have all these problems at home. And this is the case with Chelsea. Like last week on Thursday, Boehly was being interviewed and he said a lot of things about long-term management of the team, about buying a striker. Okay, these are the points. First, he said that Chelsea will be so different at some point in future, which the difference he didn't disclose it, but there are several differences in a club. Like if it's on the upside, it's building a stadium, buying the people that you need, buying a striker, buying certain players, and I don't know, selling. But if it's on the downside, sometimes it's all about selling and selling and selling. And one of the thing is selling shares, selling the club. Now, there have been wrangles. We all know that. We all know that there's some decision making changes in Chelsea. And if you ask me, of the two, I will always prefer Boehly, because this is my analogy. If I'm going to like really define how their management skill is, again in relationship terms, Boyle is the boyfriend who is not married but is generous and he listens. Clearlake and Iqbal are the boyfriends who are married, but they just do what they want to do. Now, do you choose the married people who are doing just what they want to do? They can decide to do good or they can decide to just do themselves, or you choose the person who probably will make a lot of poor decisions at some certain points, but all the decisions that he's listening from the people, like he's listening from the fans, he's listening from the people, and the people are not always right. That's one thing that people don't want to admit, that the fans, the players, the coaches, none of them at 100 times is fans. Even the fans are usually wrong. And sometimes that makes things harder to make the decision, like to make the right decisions. If you are following the fans every day, the fans will come and tell you that this player is fine, and then you'll go and sign him. This player is right, you'll go and sign him. And then eventually you come to realize that, you know what, these fans are just making decisions, or they're making claims based on their emotions. Like if we lose, we'll say sack the manager. If we lose, we'll say these players, sell these players, but then the players cost the next game, and then we say, you know what, this is a good player, and that has happened through the season. We have seen how a lot of people have been up and down, up and down. At some point, they wanted Mudryk to be shipped off back to Ukraine to fight Russia, but then Mudryk starts scoring. He scored, I think, once or twice, and then we're like, and then Mudryk lands in those drug problems, and everybody starts saying, you know what, the team is not working as it used because Mudryk is not there. Mudryk was not playing since the start of the season. Like, he can't be the reason why the team is not performing. You see, that's why you can't listen to the fans all the time. Like, if you have to listen to people, you have to listen to all this and make the right decisions. And the right decisions are usually from experienced people. But then again, experienced people again usually makes mistakes. There's always the bias of, if you have done this, we know how to do it. But there's a lot of changes that is happening in Premier League, especially right now. Now, who's right? Who's right? Who's wrong? You can't tell. The results will be the only thing that will tell if somebody was right or somebody was wrong. If the results are bad, it means your decisions are worse. If the results are good, it means your decision is good. Now, in certain terms, in certain areas, you'll always want to fail fast But that doesn't happen in football because football is costly. Premier League is costly. And even as Boyle was saying about buying a striker, because that's the other decision that weighed on on all his interview. It was about how to sign a striker, who to sign, because there are very few strikers, and even the top striker is not usually right for the team. And that is the thing I've seen in the past, that sometimes I started questioning why how these people are signing on these players. Because first, if I'm going to sign a player and I expect him to be in my first team, first 11, there are things that are just critical. There's no way I will not check on those. Like, there's no way I'll sign a player who I have seen in the past. They have had a lot of injuries and they're still ongoing they're still having the same problems. Like, you see a person has had 3 injuries in the last, they have missed like 30 games, and we're still signing him without really asking why, without really like questioning, without really doing a lot of. And that's why we have people like Lavia. Like, we have signed those guys. We have signed ZH when he was injured. We signed Pulisic when he was injured. We signed Lavia when he was injured. And we keep signing all those guys. And the funny thing is that we expect those to be first 11s, not like we are signing a person who's coming to be a rotational player. When we signed ZH, when we signed Pulisic, when we signed Nkunku, when we signed Lavia, we were all expecting all these guys to be in the first 11. And all these guys, they were either injured, coming out of injury, or they had all these questionable things. And sometimes you start feeling like, what's the reason for the medical? Because the medical, I can tell this guy is not going to do well. Like, you can have him for some moment. Like, let's take him on a loan. Let's assess him. Let's find things. Let's not just buy into this thing. And now, the way Boehly is speaking is right. I feel like it's right. Like, you just can't go to the market and you hear people saying like Osimhen is the GOAT. You go and sign Osimhen. All this is the GOAT. Like, we had all this. We signed like who's the Senegal defender? Everybody. At some point, we wanted to sign him when he was still in Napoli in first years. Like, he was doing a lot, but then things just, it was not working when the time we were signing him. Like, it was not working. But and then you start reasoning, why are they signing him? Just because they have a name, we can't be signing them. And that's why I like a bit of clear leg. I just don't like the bit of clear leg that is signing very young people. If you have ever played FIFA or FUT or anything, no, league in FIFA or EF, and if you have observed football for a while, like, you will see a lot of agents, either in gaming or in real life. Like, they will see a player playing and then they will start saying like, his ceiling is so high. Like, his ceiling, they will start rating like him against, like, they will see a person playing in like a local football and say his ceiling is Kante. Like, if we give this guy 5 years, he's going to play like Kante. If we give this guy like 4 years, 3 years, he's going to play like this, like Rodri. Like, and then the guy is 19 or 17 or 16 even. Now, based on that, you are going to put a lot of money on this guy. But there's a lot of things that usually happens. Like, it's not even just losing your talent or anything. Sometimes it's about an injury. Sometimes it's just about the mental state. Like, somebody could be playing because they are just at the, sometimes how you play like really reflects what you are thinking. If you like really need to eat from that playing, you'll play so well to just get the salary. But once you are getting paid, the motivation is not there, because the only thing that was taking you or making you to play in the same way was because you lacked food. Now that you are getting paid, There's no motivation to do the same thing. And these are the things that people don't usually consider when they're signing all these young players. Like you go to Madrid, Brazil, you see 20 people whose ceiling they have said, like, this is the next Pele, this is the next. Like right now, you go to any video and just search Estavao. Now you'll feel or you'll think that there's a new Neymar coming up. And it's not even Neymar, like the ceiling is so high. It's Pele, it's Messi, it's a combination of Messi, Pele, Neymar, Maradona, everything. And you'll think like, let's buy this guy for 1 billion shillings. Let's even triple it, buy him for 2 billion shillings. Like it's going to be so huge. Higher than Vinicius, higher than Mbappe. And then 2 years later, you're asking, is this guy really Brazilian or is just Colombian who crossed to Brazil? Because things are not working for him. And it's just that thing. Is the like, I don't know why people don't see it. Now you have to make the decisions, and it's when you are in that level, when you are in that share, you have to make the decisions, and it doesn't mean that every decision has to be right. But then I even said in the past, like, if you are making the decisions and 8 out of 10 decisions are wrong, if you are going to look for a coach and you have sacked one, employed another one, sacked him, employed another one, sacked him, employed another one, and it's 5 coaches, and you have won nothing. Like out of those 5 coaches, like you have not made even a single good decisions. It means it's not about all those coaches. It's not about. It's about your decision making. And now, if I'm looking at the striker, if I'm not, I'm looking at the sports directors, and I see what you have been signing, and I see that it's not working. I can't. There's no way I'll wake up and have confidence on you that you will sign the right guy. There's no way. Right now, if you ask me if I'm confident enough of the striker that this guy will sign, I'll say no. They have to show me that they are willing to sign. Even as Boehly is talking about it being hard to sign a striker. Like, I don't know how many top strikers are there. I can't count them. Are they right for the team? I'm not sure. But if you are going to just on the top level strikers, because that's what everybody has been doing. When Man City went to Haaland, we all knew Haaland was good. We all knew Haaland was going to score a lot of goals. And in the first and second season, he scored a lot of goals. He, like, beat the what do you call it? The record, the season record, and it took Man City to Champions League. They won the Champions League after so long. Why? Because they had that striker to just who keeps scoring the goals. Now we are not a development club. We just can't be going out there trying to look for players. That's the work for Brighton. That's the work for all these other teams. Salzburg, Brighton, Leipzig, Dortmund. Leave that work for them. Let them go and do trial and testing. We can't be doing trial and testing. Like we are. Why? Why are we doing trial and testing? Don't we want a cup? Don't we want the league? Don't we want the Champions League? Don't we want to win? Why should we be doing trial and testing? Leave the trial and testing to teams like Brighton, Bournemouth, and all the like. And when they got the player, they develop them for 2 weeks. We take our money, go and buy the players, and we know he will give us the return that we need. We just can't be doing Brighton's work, because if we do Brighton's work, we are going to where Brighton is. Like right now, we are in 6th. But if we continue doing Brighton's work, next season will be where Brighton is. We just can't be doing that thing. Like, I'm so tired of developing players. Like, Man City is not developing players. You could say that they are signing nobodies, but those nobodies were the top, the biggest players in those teams. Like, you can't be sending a nobody 70 million euros. You can't be sending three nobodies. And you see how Omar fits in the team. You see how the other guy fits in the team. And it's just a bloated squad, but they're always signing all these guys. And they will be selling the others. They will be pushing. And this is just January. When it comes to summer, August, they'll be signing even more. They'll be signing even more superstars. And now, if we want to compete with them, we just can't be going to Brazil to look for those guys. That's the work for other teams. Unless this guys just proves it's just bigger than everything. Yeah, you saw how Madrid went and signed all that Brazilian. What is his name? And they were saying it was going to be a Boehly. I've not seen him since. Like when Mbappe came and Rodrigo injury got well. I don't know even if he's in the squad or if he's in the... You see, those are the chances that we don't take with this team. Those are the chances that we can't be a Brighton. Like, it's... But then, back to Boehly. Now, what's the future? Probably, this is how I'm thinking. Either Boehly sells his shares or Clear Lake sells his shares. Now, the problem is currently how Premier League is. Like, you can just tell how, like, Premier League is huge currently. But with the marketing, with the touring, with everything that is happening everywhere, and especially in America, the explosion that is expected in Premier League, like the money, the everything, like it's going to be so huge that I don't think any investor right now in Premier League will want to lose his shares currently. Like right now, it will be a very, very bad decision to lose the teams. Like, I'm so sure even the lowest of the lowest, like that team, like Wolves, in 5 years, they will be as worth as Chelsea is right now. Like, they will be worth 4 billion and something, 5 billion and something. Now, it's so hard to want an owner right now to lose his or her shares. Like, I see nobody going to, probably because a lot of people will be wants to invest in the team, maybe will sell, but I'm not sure anybody right now will willingly sell these shares. And I'm so sure Clear Lake, being the business guys they are not going to sell their shares. So even with the protest, we just have to somehow find a way to forget, unless that's things just plummets to the lowest of the lowest. I don't know which lowest of the lowest is it. If we just remain there, 5-6, 5-6, 5-6, I'm so sure they're not going to sell the club. But that's very bad to the fans. That's very bad to the players. That's very bad to the team and any stakeholder. But anyway, next game, Leicester will be waiting.